Oh, I kind of want to answer this one because I feel like my answer might be a little different than you'd expect or than they would answer it. But I love questions like these. For example, I love when Freo described all of the members of By the Beat as a different type of coffee. Someone asks, how would you describe each By the Beat member as a genre of music, as a music genre? Oh my goodness, that is pretty tough. That's pretty tough. But for me, I promise it's not just the bias. I'll start with myself because I think I know myself decently well. It's not just the bias of my favorite genre, because you know it's no secret that jazz is my favorite. But I also think jazz kind of encapsulates my personality. I think I have a very like maybe not rebellious. Rebellious might not be the right word for my personality. More like easygoing, very come what may, happy-go-lucky vibe about me. That's kind of the way I like to live my life. I feel best if I don't worry about all the fine details and I don't worry about structure and stuff. I do work extra hard to introduce structure to my life because I need it, but at my most natural form, there's actually not that much structure. I'm kind of chaotic, kind of messy, actually. And jazz in general is all about freedom of expression, kind of doing a new take on a rule or on a standard of understanding for music. Vocally, instrumentally, it's all about breaking those walls and just, you know, just having fun. And I really, really love that. So I think I am jazz. Beyond me, maybe going in debut order, right, with Seible. Here's the thing. Seible really, really loves dark music. He loves really dark and serious stuff. He loves the macabre. He loves grim and serious music. But I think he's actually very like, I don't know, when I think of Seible, I hear very uplifting and warm stuff. Kind of the stark opposite. Like I see a sunrise almost, you know what I mean? So I think Seible would be like a really like heartfelt and romantic ballad. You know what I mean? Especially like a Japanese ballad. Very, very sweet. Maybe a little bittersweet actually. Maybe a little like, I talked about this a little bit during my last karaoke set list, but I associated him with songs like Neko by Dish. Just very like sweet and optimistic and uplifting, and I don't know, the sound of like warmth, of joy, of love, things like that. I just think he's a very uplifting individual. He's very courteous. He always looks out for others. He's very receptive to small things. And I just see him as that. That's what I think he is. I think he is very sweet ballads, even if that's not the type of music he personally likes to sing or listen to. Yeah, very back number. Back number is a really good example as well. Yeah, very, very... That's Seible to me. Or Lamp. I could hear that too. Yeah, I think that's Seible. I think he's very sweet ballads, kind of in contrast to what he likes to listen to. Or yeah, no, I think that's it for him. For Freo, it's a little bit more consistent with the type of stuff he likes, but maybe slightly different. He also likes a lot of utaite adjacent darker music, and I can hear him in dark and serious, but I kind of hear him in orchestral music. I hear him in like very, because to me Freo is he's very clean. He's kind of my polar opposite in this way. It actually really intimidated me when I first met him. He's very put together, and that's the kind of person that I'm most nervous around. He's got like a clean plan for everything. He sees every possible outcome with that plan and considers like counter options for those. When there's a question, he's always the one with an answer. And when there's not a question, there's going to be one because he's the one that's asking the next question. He's got structure in his life. He's very put together. He knows what he's doing. And I think in contrast to jazz, right, that's what classical is all about, orchestral. Everybody has to be absolutely perfect, and if a single instrument stands out, the entire piece is ruined. That's Freo to me. I think he's very clean. He's very like, he colors within the lines. You know what I mean? So I associate him with especially like very almost like posh type classical music, like Mozart's classical music. Very clean and articulate. But I don't know that he would see that as much. But that's what I see in him. That's what I would describe him as. I would say he's very clean and articulate classical music, especially the kind of like almost showboaty classical is what I mean by Mozart, right? Like the kind of, or like Chopin. I would not associate him with like Debussy. Debussy is my favorite classical composer, but see, Debussy's music, despite being classical, is its own standard of very like flowing and almost ethereal sounding music. But with Mozart or Chopin, it's much more like almost like punchy. It's very pointy. It's very, I don't know, it's very sophisticated. It's so hard to put the words that I want out there, but yeah, I see him in that, or like Rachmaninoff as well. Yeah, just very Tchaikovsky. That's another good one. Tchaikovsky is another very clean classical music. That's what I hear. That's what I hear for Freo. Sophisticated, yeah, sophisticated is a good way to describe it. Especially difficult classical music. For Zeal, Zeal is an interesting one. Oh my goodness. Here's the thing, I think I might be consistent with what he's very interested in listening to, but it's also kind of, it's not very hard to be because he listens to everything and he likes everything. He loves music in general, so it's kind of difficult to encapsulate him in a single genre. But I think in general, God, I associate him with so many, is the problem. I feel like there are times when he's one and then times when he's another. He's very like he's a very adaptable presence in life. I think like in times of stress, he can be a listening ear, but he can also be a distraction, but he can also be an active solver, is the thing. Yeah, I guess it really might just be EDM, but I don't know. It's like, it's not enough. You know what I'm saying? He really is like a jukebox. It's like I can hear so many with him. It's tough. It's tough. EDM and jazz, I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't give him jazz, at least. That's one I can say more confidently. Aside from it being his weakness, I think it kind of is in line with his personality. I think similar to Freo in a way. I think he's kind of structured in the way he does things. He's always very quick. He'll be the first to complete a deadline. Very organized as well. But he also has like a rebellious past, you know? He's got that in him. Maybe I'd give him rock, actually. That might be out of left field, right? Because I feel like everybody's going to associate him with EDM. He really loves EDM, to be clear. He loves it. That's what he loves most of all. But I think I'd give him rock. I think I'd give him like punk rock, actually. Punk rock or like rock and roll, traditional rock and roll. Classic rock, like Rolling Stones type rock, maybe. Because with rock, I don't know. It's all about having a very solid foundation. I think if you strip rock of its drums, it's nothing. It's not rock anymore. You need to have that clean foundation, and like the bass is essential too to that foundation. Without drums and bass, there's nothing there. And I think that's a lot of what Zeal is. I think he's that clean foundation, that sturdy foundation that you can rely on. He's very reliable. He's very dependable, I think is the best way to describe him. He's always there when you need him, and he'll do whatever you need him to do. And he's also very like knowledgeable. So it being like a more, what is the word I'm looking for? Classic is the best word I can think of. Like it being a more classical form of the genre is very fitted to him. I think he's very wizened. He's been around and he's seen a lot of stuff in his years. So I think I would associate him with that. Yeah, I'd associate him, even if it's not his favorite genre at all, but I'd associate him with classic rock and roll. Old. I'm not just calling him old, I promise. Yeah, not because he's just rebellious and old. I promise it's not that. It's not that. It's about, well, it does relate to like the fact that the music is kind of old, but you know, in that case, I'd be calling Freo like a dead and gone, like super turbo grandpa if it was about that. Yeah, no, I'm not saying he's old like the music. I'm just saying that like, you know, with time comes experience, and I think he's very experienced. He's especially reliable when it comes to information. He's reliable when it comes to favors, of course. Like he'll do things for you, but I think more than anything, he's often got the answers you need. If you're unsure about something, he's probably been through it, and if he's never been through it, he's seen something like it at least once. So I kind of see him as this classic and wise figure to me. I don't know, it's so hard for him. It's difficult to come up with a single genre, but that's the one that's standing out to me right now. Yeah, I think that's my answer. I think I would be jazz, Seible would be like popish ballad, and Freo would be like Shobori sophisticated classical, and Zeal would be classic rock and roll. That's what I would do. That's my best answer for each. I feel like some of them are slightly off, but that's the best I got for you. Such a fun question though. Such a fun question. Thank you for that.